Hey guys, it's Jansen here and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, I'm going to be teaching you the steps to follow if you want to create a certain type of pay-per-click campaign that targets the most popular keywords within your niche. And this is a really useful strategy to follow when you're launching a new product on Amazon, because it means that you are going to be honing in on high volume keywords that customers are actually using, which hopefully will result in you getting ranked quicker. Now, this video is the second video in a two-part series to do with launching a product on Amazon to the front page. So if you haven't seen the first video that I did where I explained how to go about getting your back-end keywords, I'll put a link for that in the corner now. I'd advise watching that one first. Once you've done that and you followed all the steps, you can then come to this one where we're going to be setting up our pay-per-click advertising campaign. Okay, so presumably now, if you're watching this video, you are about to launch a new product on Amazon, or you're going to be doing a relaunch or something similar. So if you are, you're in the right spot. So what you need to do is come to Amazon, and then you need to type in the product that you're looking to sell. So in this example, we're just going to go to my trusty favorite product, the posture corrector. Now, I should add, before I delve into the tutorial a bit deeper, in order to follow the tips or the steps that I'm going to go through, you do need Helium 10. We're going to be using the Cerebro tool. So if you haven't got Helium 10, there is a link for that in the description below. Helium 10 is an essential tool to have if you're an Amazon seller, so I would highly encourage you to get it if you don't already. So assuming that you have got it now, what you need to do is type in the product that you're looking to sell, come onto the search page result and click the listing that most resembles the product that you're hoping to sell, hoping to launch, right? So let's just say it's this one here. We can say, yep, this posture corrector looks very similar. So you will click into the listing, and then the quickest way to go about this to get into Cerebro is to press this keywords button here. If you don't see this chart on your Amazon page, that means that you haven't got the Helium 10 Chrome extension, so you will need that as well for this this strategy. I'll put a link for that in the description box too. So if you have got that, you can just press keywords. If you don't want to get the Helium 10 Chrome extension for whatever reason, maybe you don't have Chrome or whatever, you can just go to helium10.com and then go into the sidebar in keyword research and then press Cerebro and then just paste in the ASIN. But honestly, just follow the tips that the method that I just did there. It will save you a heck of a lot of time. So once you have done that, it will load this screen up here. And then the second thing we want to do is we want to press Get Competitors. We don't just want to do our keyword analysis on one competitor because it might not be accurate. So we press Get Competitors, and then the next step to take is just click 2 to 3 competitors that are selling products very similar to ours. So we can say, yep, this one looks the same, this one looks the same, and let's just go, this one is the same here. So we will press OK, and once that's loaded, just double check that this box says the marketplace that you're looking to sell. I'm in the UK, I want to sell in the UK, so we're all good there. And then once we've done that, we will press Get Keywords and we'll let that run. Once that's finished running, you can scroll down and you can see that it's picked up 14,000 keywords associated with the listings that we chose. That is far too many, it's not manageable, and in all likelihood, a lot of those aren't going to be relevant. So we need to start using the filters now in order to reduce that list down. So the filters that I like to use are the match type one. I like to change that to say organic. And then I like to use one of the advanced filters. I like to go on competitor rank average. So what I'll do here is I'll type in 1 to say 12. And what that basically is saying to Helium 10 is only show me the keywords where all of these listings have a rank, an average rank position, so a search page position of between 1 to 12. So we can press apply. If you do that and the results are too low, then you can widen that. You can do 1 to 24 or something like that. Just have a play around with it until you get a manageable number of keywords. So if we scroll down now, we can see that this has come down to 273. That's a lot better. We'll then press search volume here, and what that will do is put it in order of search volume. So we only want to see the keywords with the most amount of volume. This strategy that I'm teaching you here is where we are basically going to be telling Amazon that we want to show our listing to customers that are typing in keywords relevant to our product, right? And we only want to be doing that to keywords that are being typed in a huge amount of times every single month. So you can see this is displayed now, and already I can see a couple of results that aren't relevant, and this does sometimes happen. It can happen because maybe some of these ones here that you've put in haven't got that much of a strong rank, or it could be because perhaps your filters that you've been using aren't tight enough. So what I typically do is just kind of press the cross here on any irrelevant keywords. So let's just have a look. Posture corrector men, that is obviously relevant. Stress relief, I'm not too sure on that. Neck warmer, no, I'll take that off. So what I'm going to do now is just spend a couple of minutes just going through this list and basically getting a top 10 list of keywords that I do think are relevant to my niche.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so unfortunately that list there that I was just presented with by Helium 10 wasn't actually particularly good. It was full of a lot of junk. So what I did is I basically just reran the search. I went back to this ASIN section here and I took out one of those listings because I think the listing that I'd included, it was like a grey one, had a very poor ranking, which was skewing the results. So I just changed it to these three here. I've kept the exact same filters and the results that came out were a lot better. So if you find when you run Cerebro, it just gives you a load of rubbish, it's probably because the examples that you've fed to Helium 10 aren't particularly good. They're not well ranked. So just have a play around with it if that does happen to you, and the results should improve. So what you can see here are the keywords that I've got. I've picked out about 10 here, these ones here, and all of these have a good amount of search volume. So the majority, 7 out of 10 have over 1,000 searches per month, which is good, and all of them are relevant, which is great. So the next thing you'll need to do once you've got your keyword list, you'll probably realize that this process is kind of similar to what we were doing in the previous video. It is slightly different, but it is a very similar process nonetheless. What you'll need to do is scroll up to the top, go on export, and then export to Excel. And then once that's downloaded, you'll need to open the document. Once you've opened the document in Excel, it should look similar to this, and we can now see the keywords, the 10 keywords that we are most interested in. Now, when you are launching a pay-per-click campaign, at any point, I would say don't include too many keywords in that campaign. Typically 10 to 15 is seen as the optimal amount. You can go a bit over that, but it will be harder to manage the keywords, and all of the keywords might not get their fair share of impressions. So I would say, try and keep it to 10 for this type of campaign, this launch campaign. So just highlight those just so that you know what they are. Just double check that they're all relevant and that they're all ones that you want to target, that you want to rank for. So if we just have a very quick look through now, we can see that indeed all of these are relevant. Now there are two kind of methods here, sub-methods that you can follow. You can either create a phrase campaign, a pay-per-click phrase campaign, and you can basically just put all of these in, or you can create an exact campaign. Now, it is entirely up to you which one you want to do. It could be budget permitting. You could do both if you wanted to. Historically, I've done both. So if you're not sure of the difference, a phrase campaign means that if I type in posture corrector men into my campaign when setting it up, it means that my listing will still show for any keyword that has that phrase in, as well as other things, right? So if a customer typed in black posture corrector men, my listing advertisement would show, because posture corrector men, the phrase is contained within the customer's search, what they're searching for, right? Whereas in an exact campaign, if I typed in posture corrector men, that exact keyword, and a customer typed in anything else that's slightly different from that, so black posture corrector men, then my advert wouldn't show. So an exact campaign basically gives you a lot more certainty about when you're going to be charged and when your listing is going to show on that sponsored slot, right? So it is up to you. The exact campaign method is going to be more precise, and it's going to allow you to hone in on specific keywords, but it can be more expensive. So just have a think about which one you want to do. As I say, I do both typically when launching, but it's down to your preference, whether you've got the time to manage both, whether you've got the budget, and so on and so on. But in any case, what I would say is just copy these here, and then what you need to do is head on into the advertising console in Amazon. You'll need to press create campaign. Once that has loaded, you'll want to do a sponsored products campaign. If you are a bit more advanced, you can do sponsored brands, sponsored display ads, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to do sponsored products. And then let's just fill this out together. So daily budget, if you're just launching for the very first time, I would say 10 or 15 pounds is fine. Let's just do 15 pounds. Then targeting, you need to change that to manual targeting. And then here, campaign bidding strategy. Now, this is something that does confuse some people. It's relatively new in the grand scheme of things. And basically, it is to do with the type of customer that Amazon is going to show your advertisement to. So if you choose dynamic bids down only, that means that if you tell Amazon to bid a maximum of 50 pence per click, then Amazon will only bid up to 50p. So sometimes they will lower it down, sometimes they will keep it at 50p. And that all depends on the customer. If they think that the customer is not likely to buy your product, they just think the customer is just randomly shopping and just clicking or whatever, then they've got the ability to lower your bid, right? With dynamic bids up and down, then Amazon in some circumstances could increase your bid like up to 100% of what you've specified, and they will only do that if they think that the customer is likely to buy from you. So based on historic purchasing behavior or whatever, they've got a ton of data analytics. If they think that that customer that is about to click on your advert is probably going to buy your product, they will increase the bid to allow you to get that visibility. So this dynamic bids strategy here, up and down, it can have a massive impact on how much you spend on your cost per click. I've tested both of them. I do think that they both have their pros and cons. The dynamic bids up and down, I would say, is quite useful when you are launching, but the cost per click can get a bit out of hand. I've done it before and I've been getting charged £1.50, £2 for a click, which is quite a lot if you're not able to convert. So my advice here is start off with dynamic bids down only, see how your sales get on, see whether you're getting many clicks and so on and so on. If you're not, then you can switch. You can either increase your bid, see what happens, or you can switch to this dynamic bids up and down strategy. It's really easy to do. You don't need to create a new campaign. But just for the purposes of this, we're going to stick with dynamic bids down. Then we'll scroll down and you'll select ad group name. You can put whatever you want. I'll typically just type in like the type of matching that I'm doing. So let's say we are doing phrase. You'll then need to add the product that you are wanting to advertise. And then here, targeting, we are doing keyword targeting. We will then press enter list. And where it says match type, we're going to untick broad. We're going to untick exact. For this example, if you do want to do an exact campaign, set up a separate one and just keep that one ticked. And then we're just going to paste in our list of keywords. So what you would then do is then just press add. And then normally if the product that you are looking to advertise is related to the list of keywords, Amazon will give you suggested bids, where I would recommend you go slightly higher. So again, pay-per-click is all about testing. I would say go in at Amazon's suggested bid plus 5% or so. See if you get any clicks. If you don't, then you can, play around with it. There are people out there that say, no, do 10% higher, do 20% higher, so on and so on. Advertising in any industry is all about testing. There's no right or wrong. So I'm not going to tell you, a certain formula to follow. Just go with Amazon's suggested bid, add a couple of percent onto it and see if you get clicks. So when you do press add keywords, because the product that I'm looking to sell here isn't relevant, it's not giving me suggested bids, but here it would. You could do that. You could add that. You could press apply all, and that's it. You've done it. And then you can just manually increase the percentages. Then you just scroll down, you press launch campaign, and that is it. You have created your phrase campaign, your phrase launch campaign that is going to be targeting the keywords with the most amount of search volume associated to them. So that is a strategy that I have followed. As I said, I typically do one phrase campaign and one exact campaign, and I just monitor it every single day. I have a look at what sales I'm getting, I have a look at the ACOS that I'm getting, and I adjust accordingly. And every time I've launched a product using that strategy, it has allowed me to turbocharge my ability to get to the front page, rather than just relying on an automatic campaign, which allows Amazon like a completely free reign to go and get whatever keywords it wants at whatever bids it wants up to the limit that you set. So you don't really have much control there if you're looking to target certain keywords that you want to rank for. Now, if you are selling in a competitive niche, when you paste in your top 10 keywords from Helium 10, you might find that the suggested bid from Amazon is too high, and it just means that your product isn't going to be profitable as soon as you start paying for clicks. In that circumstance, what you need to do, or what my advice is, you come back to Helium 10, and instead of targeting those top 10 keywords with the most amount of search volume, you start looking a bit further down where the search volume is lower, which means there's going to be less competition. Now, what this means is that your ability to climb to the front page for the most popular keywords is going to be a lot slower. But honestly, in this game, in the Amazon game, patience is a virtue, especially if you are in a very competitive niche. So my advice, if the suggested bids are too high, if it's not profitable for you, is come back to Helium 10 and scroll down the list here and start looking at other longer tail keywords that are less competitive. So you can see here, back support brace, like slightly longer than just like posture corrector or back brace. That's got 550 searches per month. You know, 550 searches per month, whilst it's not in the thousands, is still a decent amount. If you've got a 10% conversion rate on those 550 searches, that's 55 sales a month, and it all adds up. So scroll down, you can see another one here, back posture corrector women, 433 searches per month, back brace for women, and so on and so on. So that is another top tip of mine, guys. Don't pay ridiculous prices in terms of cost per click for when you're launching a new product in a saturated niche, because it's just going to be money down the toilet. It works, doing that top 10 strategy works if your product is differentiated and if you are in a less saturated niche. But if you are in a very competitive area, I'd say go for that second like sub strategy there, where you start targeting the longer tail keywords that have got less volume and less competition. So that is it for this mini series on how to rank your product as quickly as possible on Amazon. If you do have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. Put them in the comment section below, post them in the Smashers group on Facebook, or drop me an email. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you next time.